All right, so my name is James Hackett, illustrator, fashion designer, all around amazing person, king of the Lush Kingdom. Well, I wanted to do something along the lines of Afrofuturism, first thing, and something that I think you guys could find on Netflix. This is something that has stood out in my mind ever since I saw it. It's part of the anthology of films Love, Death, and Robots that Netflix put out in 2019. That whole run is crazy and cool by itself. Just for personal reasons and really cool reasons. I am choosing Zima Blue because it spoke about several different things that is dear to me. First thing, of course, the color blue. I love blue. Blue is like one of my favorite colors. And it dealt with an artist who is looking at doing like his greatest work and coming to some kind of conclusion.
It was said that he started his art career in portraiture. But for Zima, the human form was too small a subject.
I suppose when you think about it, when you look at the piece, it doesn't happen in a traditional setting. This thing is happening with this guy who is an amazing creature unto his own self, and I'll let those of you who watch it is very short so you could go find all that detail, who wants to do like this new piece of work, and that the introduction of the character, the introduction of the world that he's in, and the way that he creates his artwork.
The search for deeper meaning caused him to look further, to the cosmos itself.
And seeing him doing these fantastical pieces, and seeing a figure that looks like me along a cosmic setting is just something that just kind of it tugs at you. Looking at it is just like this is like the best thing you could ever see. I always dream about black people in space. I always dream about figures that are out there, futuristic stories, where we look at characters that are black that don't wrestle with the idea that they are black. They just happen to be in these wonderful settings. So it's nothing where it's a space that's divisive. These are just people that are out there, that are existing and doing cool things that you want to see. And Zima Blue, it I can't find the words sometimes to describe it because it's something that really came to me, and it was a very special story.
One day, Zima unveiled a mural that had something different about it.
In terms of the animation, like he has these really stylistic, very angular, but very cool way that he creates his figures, like these elongated forms. For me, sometimes it's kind of cool because we tend to do that with fashion illustration, but his approach to it is very interesting, very animated, very stylized, but a very, very fun approach to doing the figure. And I think it worked well with this story. So you have like these kind of fantastical looking forms for this fantastic story as it is. And it just looks really cool.
The abstract shapes changed and became more dominant, but always the shade of blue was the same.
I guess in some instances why I like blue is because I'm a calm person in most instances. People find me to have a very calming effect around them, and I own that. That's cool. I could live with that. But also, I use blue a lot in my work, so much so that friends of mine started to compare a certain period of my work with Picasso's blue period. So sometimes I kind of like that because Picasso is great. So, and blue for me is just like this idea of owning up to a certain amount of sadness within yourself, a certain amount of melancholy, dealing with depression and overcoming it, and then using it to create like these wonderful expressions that people could look out to. And I thought maybe that might have been some of the things that was happening with Zima, the artist in the story, like using blue. Because to him, and without giving away details, it took him back to a place where it was like a core of his being. And again, I can't talk too much because I'll give it, but it's very significant seeing blue used in that way as like a significant part of the story.
Before very long, Zima unveiled the first of his entirely blue murals.
And I think for people who create, people who probably may want a little bit of peace, it might be something interesting to look at.
It was considered by many to be as far as Zima could take things. They couldn't have been more wrong.